Hi everyone, Paul Saladino here. Welcome. I hope that this finds you well. I would like to take a brief moment to just thank every one of you out there who have reached out through emailing and texting and Facebook messages and phone calls to thank me for creating this YouTube channel and these videos. You know, honestly, I'm humbled and I'm honored to be a very small part of your spiritual growth and journey. It's my hope and my intention to use my life experience and to share with you the lessons that I've learned, also the information and the wisdom I've gained through mediumship, through channeling, through the meditations that I do, to help you to see life a little differently, to take a look at yourself from a different perspective, and to bring about positive change. So it warms my heart to know that the information that I'm sharing with you is doing just that. So please continue to do the good work. Keep reaching out. I love hearing the stories. They really motivate me to continue to do what I do and what I love to do. So thank you. I would like to use this video as an opportunity to answer and address two extremely important questions that have been asked of me many times throughout my 21 years of doing spiritual work. I can only answer them through my life experience, from what I've learned with the belief system that I have, that I've had to use and draw upon on my path to become a better version of myself. But what's interesting is, in this video, I'm going to share with you some really deep information that has been given to me through my connection to spirit, through the conversations that I've had with those who have passed on. I believe that you'll find it interesting, and I know that you'll be able to understand it, and hopefully you'll use it then to create a better life for yourself and to understand it differently. And then hopefully you'll go out and share this with other people so that they can do the same. So the first question that has been asked of me so many times over the years is, why are we here? What is the purpose of life? And the second question is, what happens immediately when we die? So these are two very powerful and interesting questions, and I'd like to address the first one. So in order for you to understand it completely, you need to really know that you are far greater than the human version of yourself. In fact, that part of you is the smaller, limited version of you, here living this one lifetime as an experience. There is another side to you, another part of you that resides deep within you, and that part of you is brilliant. It is the larger, more advanced part of you, and it lives and resides in unconditional love and complete truth. It has wisdom. It has a greater understanding and a higher consciousness than the human side of you could ever even understand. And that part of us we call our soul, our spirit. Some people call it their higher self. It really doesn't matter what you label it or what you call it, but it's so very important that you understand that it's there and that you check in with it and begin to nurture it, begin to connect to it and have a relationship with it. Because that part of you, the more advanced part of you, is on a journey back to perfection. And so to me, perfection is God. And also my definition of God for me is complete unconditional love, the highest of consciousness, a euphoric unconditional love that we as humans cannot even comprehend. And so our souls are trying to journey back to this, to merge with it, and to never go through this realm again. And so before it comes here to this level of energy, before it becomes human, our souls design and create a tailor-made experience. They pick every detail, every situation, circumstance, event, place for its learning, for what will bring it its greatest and highest good. And it experiences that lifetime in spirit. It watches it play out from start to finish in its entirety, exactly the way it's supposed to be. And so we then ask for permission from the Almighty, from what I consider to be perfection. And we are gifted with this honor, this privilege of experiencing humanity for the purpose of expanding our consciousness to heighten our energy and to learn. And so we begin our journey as humans, but we begin it with free will. And free will is our opportunity to stay close to and connected to that path that we designed, or to deviate away from it down a side road that might necessarily not bring us our greatest and highest good. And so it benefits us tremendously to unite with that greater part of us, that all-knowing part of us, so that we can tap into this infinite wisdom and this understanding that will help us to see clear all of the situations in our life. And yet, because we're born human, in a human experience, we oftentimes venture away from that path. We're looking for ways to satisfy our ego, that part of us which controls the limited version of ourselves. And so we go so far away at times, looking for immediate gratification, or we're looking for financial reward, or other things that we feel would make us happy. But in reality, we're doing ourselves more harm. We're not seeing the bigger picture. We're not connecting to the true essence of who we are, that which is our soul. And so we venture away, we detach in some ways. And as this continues, we all oftentimes will have a feeling of things are not right in our lives. We feel uncomfortable, or we just have this sense of being off in some way, certainly not happy with what we're living. And that is a clear indication that you are not aligned with your spirit. And so it's detrimental to our well-being that we stay close to our path that we've designed, the road that we would hope to walk, and also that we begin a relationship with that greater part of us that is meant to guide us and lead us in the direction where we're supposed to be. And there are a few ways that you can do this. Meditation is one of the greatest ways. And meditation is relaxing your nature, where you can quiet your brain just a little bit and allow your ego to rest, so that you can go within yourself, deep within yourself, and connect to your spirit. And to now be embraced by this loving energy that has clarity in your life, that will show you your lessons, give you the shortest route to figuring out the solution, and then it will also allow you to feel the empowerment of learning those lessons. So meditation is just a beautiful way to mesh your human side and to also connect to your spirit. And that is something that we should be doing on a regular basis. We also can use faith. Our faith is belief in the unknown. It's trusting in something that we can't see, but we know it's for good. And so for me, faith is a beacon of light that shines directly in the direction we're supposed to go into. So it doesn't ensure that we'll have the outcome we want or guarantee us anything, but it will certainly move us to where we need to look in order to find our greatest and highest good. And anything that we do out of a positive emotion sparks a connection to our spirit. So if we have ventured away off track and now feel this, almost like this unease in our lives, any act of kindness, every event that you show empathy or compassion or love is going to now shift your energy back to where it's supposed to be. So it's extremely important for each one of us to stay present in our lives, to notice and to be aware of our actions, our reactions, our motives, and our intentions. Because these situations are going to delegate our life experience here, but also in the afterlife, which I'll explain in a moment. So any positive emotion that you do will start to give you more peace in this lifetime. And as you do that, as we begin a journey to become the better version of ourselves, we start to embrace ourselves. We begin to love ourselves. And with that, we build our self-worth. we gain more self-respect, and we begin to hold ourselves accountable. And at that point, it's less likely that we will do something that's negative because we're much more aware and we're more focused on how we are speaking, how we're responding to somebody, and how much that we really do care. You know, as humans, we do not get away with anything. You may think you have, but I can guarantee you that that's not true. The law of karma is playing in us every moment of our entire life. So, for example, you may have had an experience in your past where you were hurtful or mean or disrespectful, and you didn't think it was that big of a deal, and you just didn't care enough to fix it. And you just went about your business and continued your life, figuring, oh, I got away with that one. You didn't. I can promise you that. Because the law of karma doesn't come back to you exactly in that moment and exactly the way in which you gave it. But I can promise you that in your lifetime, something was unsettling or hurtful or devastating. And that situation was created by the karmic debt that you had because of that experience. So please know that everything you do here has importance. That this journey that you begin each morning is your gift. It's a privilege that God has given you for you to learn and to grow. So stay focused on all the positive emotions. Do all good and allow yourself to grow and expand it and have more peace in this lifetime. Isn't that what we all want? Don't we want to feel aligned and see all the good come about? Well, it doesn't guarantee you that you're going to have an easy road, but you will experience empowerment, enlightenment, so far greater than if you had ventured so far off the path and disconnected from your soul. And this goes on throughout our entirety, from our birth till our death. And then one day, obviously, it has to end. This human experience will expire, and we now transition out of our human existence and merge completely with our spirit, our soul. We unite and we become whole again. And now we go into the afterlife. And for that experience can be either a brilliant one or it could be pretty devastating. Because we at that moment, when we pass on, will have to go through something called a life review. Now, this is us taking accountability for every moment of this lifetime. We will now have to relive every experience, every interaction we've ever had, any connection that we've ever made, from our birth till our death. We will do this before God. And remember, God is our goal. It's where we hope to be, where we want to retire and never come here again. Why would we? So we are watching this before this brilliant, beautiful, loving energy, and we now will judge ourselves. God does not judge us. God only loves us, encourages us with that unconditional love that we as humans cannot comprehend. And so we will watch this experience, and here's the interesting information, but not as ourselves. We will watch our life as every single person we ever had contact with. Now, I know that sounds confusing, but this is the spiritual way to wipe our slate clean, and why I said it's so very important for you to stay attentive to your actions here, how you speak to people, what you feel, and how much you really care. Because not only does that carry burden here in the physical realm, but in the spiritual world, even more so. You will now become every person you ever had a conversation with. And now you will feel what you created. So let's say, for example, one day you were in a bad mood and you called your credit card company, and the person on the other line was trying to be very accommodating and speaking to you very nicely, and you were angry and upset, and you were hurtful and condescending, and you just treated that person poorly, and you hung up the phone. Well, now before God, you are going to have to take responsibility for your actions. And you will relive that experience, not even knowing that person or ever getting to meet them, and you will become them. And you will be surrounded with that negative energy. And you will now have to feel what your words and actions made them feel. It could be a devastating situation for those of us who are not mindful, for those of us who really don't care. So trust me, every bit of conversations and actions that you have towards other people here on earth means something devastating. And also, more so again when you pass on, because you really want to go back to heaven with lessons learned. You want to skip up there, sit on a cloud with a big bowl of popcorn, and experience this life review being proud and excited that you have moved ahead, moved further towards this bliss that we're all striving to become. You certainly don't want to be sitting there and have God stop the tape and say, what happened here? That is devastating for a soul, because now it realizes your soul will now choose another experience, have to build another human journey with that same lesson in it. So many of us are carrying the same lesson from lifetime to lifetime. Once that you learn a lesson, it is removed from your blueprint. You do not have to add it to your future experiences. So it's to your benefit to be mindful here and to put out as much good as you possibly can, to be able to wake up each morning excited about the journey that you have before you, and go to sleep at night rested because you did such a good job. Many of us, in fact, don't have good sleep, and we wonder why. Why can't I rest? Well, there is a clear indication that your soul is not settled, that you have ventured away and doing things, trying to embrace your human side, your ego, and not really embracing or conscious of that greater part of you that has this desire to learn and grow. And so it communicates mostly when we're sleeping. And for that reason, many of us don't rest because we're off track. And we don't know about this. We're not taught about it. So I can tell you that many of us rarely walk that path precisely the way that we planned it. And an example of that is deja vu. So many of us have had this experience where we've been somewhere or a situation was going on and we say, wow, I've seen this before. I know I've been here. This is weird. It's a strange feeling. Well, let me tell you that that moment, you are reliving the experience exactly the way you planned it in heaven. Your physical existence and your spirit are now aligned perfectly to show you that that is what you planned to do. That is how infrequent we live our path the way we want to do it. So I really tell you, this life experience can be the most beautiful experience, allowing your soul to rise up closer to God, to embrace in this beautiful energy that, again, as humans, we don't even understand. Or it can give you an opportunity now to experience the human realm with more lessons having to be learned. So be mindful. Be proud of who you are. Every day, wake up excited. Even though there is negative experiences in this lifetime, they were all created in order for your greatest and highest learning and good. So grab onto them and use the positive energy to get past them. And you will feel a more peaceful energy in your life. It will become almost like an ease and a flow that you've never experienced before. Because when you live aligned with your soul, it just takes you almost down a river. There's a surrender and a release to it that is just so beautiful and relaxing. You'll find more peace in your life, less anxiety. You won't have depression or frustration nearly as much. And you will then be proud of this experience. You will skip back to heaven, excited to see God and to experience this beautiful life review that will now allow you advancement. This is why we come to earth. This is the purpose of the human experience, and also what happens to us immediately after we pass on. So again, you are so far greater than who you even know yourself to be. give yourself each day an opportunity to go deep within yourself, to draw on that wonderful information that's there for you, and to connect to all these positive emotions that will help you as well as other people. If we all do this, if we all take accountability for our lives, and we truly build ourselves up to the better version, and we change the little immediate world that's around us, then collectively we can all join together and change this world to be the better and most beautiful place it's supposed to be. So please do your part every day. Take a little mindful effort to stop and see how you're reacting to people, to really care, be selfless. Do a random act of kindness, or just do because you know it's going to make someone else feel better. That will allow your soul to sing during this lifetime. And I promise you, it'll be a reward when you pass on that you can't even imagine. So I hope that this makes sense for you. I hope it can clear up those two questions for anyone who was interested in them. And I hope that you guys know that each and every one of you have allowed me to become a better version of myself. And it's my honor, again, to be a small part in returning the favor. So keep up the good work. And if I can be of assistance in any way, please check out my website at heavenshealingguidance.com. It'll have a list of all the services I provide and upcoming events and classes and workshops and seminars. And I want you to just know that you have been honored and gifted and privileged to come here, to be a part of this experience. Every one of us experiencing a different part of our soul's desire. And so please recognize the difference in people, celebrate it, and put forth an effort every day to make yourself better and to help somebody else see their greater self. I wish you all well. I thank you once again. God bless you and have a great day.